Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
Okay.
Sean, today we have extraordinary people. AJ Donaldson from Miami is here with us today. Nonprofit education, father of 2 boys, 9 and 19 years old, husband, entrepreneur, mentor, former U of Miami fullback on an academic scholarship. He says at 6'2" and 250 and running a 4.7, you did not want to be in front of AJ at speed. He's a disruptor of education system to have the U.S. compete academically on a global scale. We are so pleased you're here with us today. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming AJ Donaldson to the Real Raw.
AJ, how are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. And when did you play at the U?
I was there from 1997, showing my age a little bit, to 2000, just a year shy of that 2021 championship or 2001 championship.
Wow. And in those days, was the Notre Dame rivalry still like hot?
Oh, always. Absolutely. Yeah. Convicts against what?
Catholics versus convicts.
That's right.
So amazing. No, awesome job, brother. Appreciate that. And I had the privilege, I played baseball at Columbia University. I had the privilege of playing against the University of Miami down there in their awesome stadium and arena. Yeah. So it's an incredible facility of athletics. Congratulations on that. And what is your fun fact, my friend?
Well, I appreciate it very much. I mean, I appreciate the extra 2. I don't know who wrote that bio. Big up to whoever did for me. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the extra 2 inches that they gave me at 6'2". I'm actually 6 foot 235 now, but I was 250. And a fun fact about me more than anything else is what you see is not at all what you get. I walk into a room a lot of times and it can be a bit intimidating for certain individuals, but I pride myself in being a Renaissance man. I grew up playing the jazz saxophone and classical piano, and I love yoga. So I really just don't fit in that stereotype.
Amazing. Well, welcome to the party, my friend, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
G Money, we got like Renaissance yoga, Miami, former Hurricanes. I would never say this, but there was a t-shirt, Catholics versus convicts. Nothing could be a worse and more ridiculous frame than that, but it was a fun time. Don't tell our pal here, but I was a Notre Dame fan. And so like it was like tough times because Miami won most of those games during that time period, and they were incredible. So G Money, who we got?
Well, let's see what our next former NFL player has to say about all that. Mr. Harry Flaherty is with us today. He went to RBC, Sean Kelly, a few years ahead of me, played for Philly, Tampa Bay, and Dallas. He's the New Jersey State Director of Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Proudly married for 33 years with 5 children. Please join me in welcoming Harry Flaherty to The Real Raw.
Thank you, Gina.
So Harry, I think with you two amazing gentlemen as participants today, we should run some like end zone touchdown drills, like one-on-one tackling drills. What do you say, Harry?
I'm up for that.
But wait, who is getting to tackle who though in this whole tackle drill thing that's happening?
Well, I think Harry, you correct me if I'm wrong. You played defense. Am I wrong?
I played middle linebacker.
There we go.
I played at Holy Cross. Played football and baseball in college at Holy Cross, and I loved hearing you speak at the Battleground Country Club. You know, Sean, you were awesome, and I loved you as a captain of the Columbia baseball team. I love the fact that you played baseball at Columbia. My wife Janine, her little brothers John, Jason, and Judd Garrett all played football and baseball. First at Columbia, then at Princeton. They transferred from Columbia to Princeton when the father, Jim Garrett, got fired as the head coach in '85. All 3 of them went over to Princeton and played football and baseball at Princeton University.
Yeah, and Stephanie, this was high drama in the Ivy League because I got to Columbia in the fall of 1988. I was a 1988 high school graduate, and there were some Garrett still at Princeton at that point. I don't remember which one in the sequencing.
Jason Garrett was the Ivy League Player of the Year in '88, and Judd Garrett was the Ivy League Player of the Year in '89.
There we go. So yeah, that was happening. And my fraternity brother, Bart Barnett, who was captain of the Columbia football team and was a awesome pitcher in the baseball team, and John DeRose is our catcher, and he played defensive end. And the Garretts definitely laid a whooping on Columbia during those years because at that time, Harry and everybody, here's a fun fact. Columbia had set the national record for the most consecutive losses in Division I football ever. And my freshman year, they broke the streak. They lost 40-something games in a row. They broke the streak, and those goalposts hung about 20 feet from my front door of my room in the fraternity house across our party lounge with the score on the victory. And it was quite the day. The
good news is Columbia University football is doing really well right now. They're doing
I know.
well.
And you know what's funny? Because we have our friend from the U, Columbia actually in baseball about 5 years ago went to the regional final, played the University of Miami, had to beat them 2 consecutive games to go to the College World Series. They had no pitching left in game 1. They threw 2 freshman pitchers from Columbia who had pitched no innings varsity all season and beat the Hurricanes game 1. And we were like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing in the history of the world. We lost the second game. Of course, Miami went to the College World Series for the upteenth time, but we actually beat Miami. That's like Columbia beating, I don't know, Kentucky in the NCAA tournament in basketball. It was crazy. So a lot of fun stories. So Harry, you're in a beautiful mission, great things in the world, NFL player. And yes, Stephanie, we'd have a perfect tackling drill, middle linebacker, fullback, like boom, here we go. And Harry, though, what's your fun fact?
I guess my fun fact is I'm one of 10 children. I was born on Christmas Day, and I'm blessed beyond measure. As Gina said, I had the opportunity to come on staff with FCA in 1995, and as the only person on staff in New Jersey, now we have 18 people serving on staff with FCA New Jersey.
Yeah. And brother, like when I got involved, through the amazing Mike Just, it was a blessing, and I'd love to be more involved. I know that there's things that I do for the organization, which I'm thankful for and proud of, but I think that there could be more to be done. So if that's
and I want you to know that there's 2 NFL guys up in Bergen County. Jerry Palmieri just retired as a strength coach for the New York Giants. He's in Bergen County, and Rhett Ellison just retired as a tight end after 8 years. He just retired last year. He's coming on with full time with FCA in Bergen County.
Wow. Well, if it's of interest to you, my friend, I'd be happy to get together and talk more.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, awesome. So, and what is your fun fact?
Well, I said my fun fact is I'm one of 10 kids and I was born on Christmas Day. I'm kind of running out of fun facts.
There's nothing else fun. What's the craziest moment that you ever had on an NFL field? Better yet, what person?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. My
Yes.
rookie year with the Philadelphia Eagles in 1984, I had a chance to play against my childhood hero, Jack Lambert, middle linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh in Three River Stadium, a guy that I looked up to since I was in 7th grade. Now I'm playing against him with the Philadelphia Eagles playing at Pittsburgh. Ironically, that was my first year, and ironically, it was his last year. So I had a chance to play against my childhood hero, Jack Lambert, who won 4 Super Bowls with the Steelers. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame, Jack Lambert, number 58.
Harry, that's amazing. And thank you for all the work you do in the world and your mission. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sean.
Awesome. G Money, fun day. Who do we have?
We have Mr. Mike Bow from St. Louis, Missouri with us today. He grew up on a pig farm, husband, father of 4, musician who plays in front of 6,000 to 10,000 people. He was his high school valedictorian, Christian. He's a Christian minister. And, oh, by the way, he's an entrepreneur owning 2 Osteo Strongs and real estate rentals. And he's a pilot with his own plane. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Mike to The Real Raw.
Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great, Sean.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And I have like this weird hallucination that you were in Nashville, Tennessee recently.
I was.
No, that's awesome. And how was your
on your right-hand side?
Thank you.
I was
And how was your
3 feet from you most of the time.
Thank you. And how was your Osteo Strong convention?
It was wonderful. Best one yet. It was, they keep getting better. Last year we didn't have one. My first one was 30 people. I adopted early to OsteoStrong. And boy, this one was just amazing.
That is awesome. And I had the privilege of having a bite to eat with Kyle on Sunday evening. Was Sunday evening? Saturday, Sunday evening at the UPW for Tony Robbins. And he was just all fired up and so grateful for everything. And they did an amazing job representing the OsteoStrong world at UPW.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And what's your fun fact, my friend?
Oh, fun fact. Gosh, I guess I think it's fun being a musician. I think it's fun being a pilot. I guess the fun fact is the older I get, the more willing I am to stretch myself and do stuff. I just, on a whim last year, took a discovery flight and decided, I'm 53. This will be fun. Why don't I be a pilot? Why not? Right.
Why not?
And yeah, why not? Somebody else is doing it. Maybe I can. And that, I guess the fun fact is here's the fun fact. It took me 50 years to realize that, I'm 53 now, that life is really as simple and amazing as you make it. And, when you grow up and you realize, what, somebody ought to do something. Well, I'm somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's beautiful, brother. And what could also be a fun fact is if with your pilot's license, you jump out of an airplane with your own parachute and
I like being in them. I'm good. I'm good.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And it's great to reconnect.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. G Money.
Next, we have Dr. Letitia Wright. She's a chiropractic doctor, entrepreneur, crowdfunding specialist, philanthropist, entertainment and film and TV, and so much more. She's had her own show called The Right Place since 2000 and has helped 25 others establish their own TV shows, spent her time in homeless programs, teaching kids to become entrepreneurs, Sean. And her class, this part I love, provided many their first meal at 2:30 p.m. I mean, I love that they at least got fed that day by you. Thank you so much for what you do. Please join me in welcoming Letitia Wright to The Real Raw.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Doctor, and I want to say it right. Is it Letitia or is that correct?
Letitia is correct.
Letitia. Amazing. So Letitia, thank you so much for being here. Holy eclectic background. Like this is the day of the Renaissance people. What haven't you done? TV shows, feeding of the homeless, like the transitioning of lives. And what is your fun fact, Letitia?
Oh, my fun fact is that I am the first African-American woman to do surgical rounds as a chiropractor in the state of California.
Whoa.
That is awesome. Letitia, did you happen to be at an event called Cairo Rocks? Does this ring a bell or no?
I did not, because I don't practice anymore. I'm more focused
Gotcha.
on my business, so I don't see patients. But no, I was not. I was invited by Maria Simone. She made me aware of the event, so I will be in Miami.
Nice.
Yeah, got to give Harry a little shout out. I am a long-term Dallas Cowboys fan. I see that Tom Landry behind you. So I'm sorry. I had to fan geek a little bit to say I can't wait to tell my family who I met.
I played for Tom Landry, but my wife's little brother is Jason Garrett, who just got fired from the Cowboys last year.
I know. I love Jason. He was so cute. We go to the camp and Oxnard every year, and we take our family. Our family comes from all over the country, and we go to a live Dallas game like once a year. So we're going to the December 2nd game this year. But yeah, my whole family is Dallas fans, so I can't wait to show off that I met you. So
And Letitia and Harry, Stephanie might have a fun fact that might be interesting today, but we'll see if she goes with it or not. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
have fun facts for today.
well, you might want to add that one too. So
I think I might, yes.
you can have two today. So
Okay,
Letitia,
thanks.
thank you so much for being here. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. G Money.
Next, we have another amazing OsteoStrong owner with us today, Dawn Holy. She is the mother of three, owner of the Fort Lauderdale OsteoStrong. She's an action taker, a modeler, and she is already ecosystem merging after watching some of your work, Sean, at the OsteoStrong Talk by merging with her acupuncturist and chiropractor. How freaking cool is that? Please join me in welcoming Dawn Holy to The Real Raw.
Awesome, Dawn. So hello again. Last time we connected was in Nashville. And how are you?
I'm good. I actually wasn't in Nashville. I was watching it remotely. Unfortunately,
sorry.
I didn't get a chance to go, but I was watching your presentation live. They live streamed it. So I was lucky enough to get to do that. And I'm going to the event in Miami this weekend.
Well, we are thrilled to have you there. And what is your fun fact, Dawn?
Fun fact, I love anything biohacking. And I'm currently in a big personal growth mode since two of my three children are off and on their own. I've really kind of had a lot of time to kind of explore what I'm super interested in.
So maybe Stephanie would show you today her biomodulator and transducer. Stephanie, would you be kind enough to show your biomodulator?
I don't have them
and
with me. I'm
transducer?
at the office and I don't have them with me.
Well, I will show my biomodulator and transducer then, since we're in the biohacking space. Does that
There you
sound good, Dawn?
Yep.
So listen, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you in Miami.
Yep. Me either.
G Money.
Next, we have Janice Coleman with us today, also from Fort Lauderdale. She's a New York life agent, educator, philanthropist, vision setter. She loves entertaining and more than anything is connected and loves to serve. She's helped thousands of people create their legacy plans. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Janice Coleman to The Real Raw.
Janice, how are you?
I am excellent, Sean. How are you?
I am feeling even more excellent being hit with your beautiful burst of energy. And what, Janice, is your fun fact?
I have a fun fact that I have to explain afterwards. And the fact is that I was a private dancer in my previous life at UGA.
Janice, amazing.
Yes, that means that I danced in front of the mirror in my dorm room alone. And my friends would know they always knew where to find me dancing in front of the mirror. So anyway, I was a private dancer.
That is amazing. And Stephanie already loves your sense of humor.
Yes, 100%.
That is awesome. So, and what's your mission in the world, Janice? What are you creating in the world?
What I'm creating is that I'm a love connector. I actually love people. And to help others to experience the abundant life, as I shared early on. And that's abundance of joy, peace, and love, and wealth as well. And I think oftentimes people aren't aware that that is their birthright. And I am here to help them to understand that.
So that is awesome. I feel your heart. We feel your heart. And thank you for being here today, Janice.
Thank you.
G Money.
Sean, we are up to the one and only. The one and only.
This woman is a handful and a half. So let's start there. She couldn't be more amazing and awesome in all the different ways. Heart-centered, energetic, making things happen, unbelievably ego subjugated, started selling crafts on her front lawn as an 8-year-old. Imagine this, negotiated with her folks to like fund the whole thing so she could keep all the profits. By 19, she was a 7-figure earner in the space of network marketing. By the ripe old age of 24, she became not number 5, 4, 3, 2, but the number 1 business broker in the state of Nevada at 24 years old. First woman to do it, youngest person to do it. Now she speaks on stages all over the place with celebrities and athletes and all the things like the American Foundation for the Blind Gala, philanthropic, heart-centered, teaching influence, co-host The Real Raw, the one, the only, Stephanie Ann Vihan. Steph, what's the fun fact or facts?
I got a couple today because we're talking about Miami and ministry. So I come from my father's side of the family are hurricane alumni. So that's on the convict side, and then I am currently enrolled in ministerial school to start in January. So I got this kind of internal conflict going on, and I might have sold drugs in high school, so I kind of have this like internal conflict, convict Christian thing going on inside. And fun fact, my mom might have a Dallas Cowboy tramp stamp. So there's my fun facts for the day. Convict, ministerial school, and tramp stamp, Sean Kelly.
And sold drugs in high school.
And sold drugs in high school.
Forgot that.
Yes. This is extraordinary. Stephanie.
AJ's like face palming. He's like, what have I got myself into?
This is amazing. So thank you for that. Gina Ricci, your heart is always present. Your beautiful energy. Thank you for everything you do. And I'm glad you're feeling a lot better today. We are sorry that you had a stomach bug that maybe like was related to a hangover, but I who would ever think?
That is not true. But
I'm kidding. I'm totally teasing. I'm glad that you're feeling so much better. But just out of curiosity, the night before you caught the stomach virus, Gina, how many alcoholic beverages did you have at the Unblinded Miami post UPW event?
About a glass of champagne, of Prosecco.
That's it?
Yes. I had like a glass, maybe I poured another one, and I was of champagne, of Prosecco, but that was no way.
Gina, I'm totally kidding. We love you and amazing day.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Thank you. Love you guys. Ciao for now.
Gina.
Stephanie, who's going first, Steph?
I think my good friend Harry wants to go first today.
Harry, this is what's happening.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask to go first.
When you're Harry and I go way back, Sean, because when you were running late for the event at the golf course, Harry was like co-facilitating an exercise with me. So we like go way back.
Yeah. And not to kill like the momentum and the energy, but I would feel remiss, especially Harry being in ministry and supporting Christian athletes and people and their journey. I don't know if you heard, Harry, about Coach Gibbs from Ramapo High School.
Yeah, actually, it's Rhett Ellison, the former Giant that I just told you about. I just got a text today that he passed away.
Yeah,
at Ramapo.
The exact
just this morning, he passed away of a heart attack. Correct?
What happened was the same thing that I had 4.5 weeks ago. He had an aortic dissection, and he had chest pain. They brought him to the hospital, and he went to surgery. I think it's the same surgeon that I would have ended up having had they decided I needed surgery and had we gone ahead with it. And I was crushed. I didn't know Coach Gibbs. I am an enormous North Jersey high school athletic supporter. I know Ramapo and the program, all his work has been unbelievable. They're preparing for state championship game. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that happened as well. And that night, I mean, just in all candor, we're having fun with it. I literally have to. I have never had blood pressure problems in my life. I don't have blood pressure problems, but as I go through a healing process, having had a dissection that I think were, a lot of folks of faith here, I believe was miraculously healed because they were about to take me into surgery. The thing closed by itself. I couldn't be more thankful to God, more thankful for prayer. It was a miracle. But that night coming down, my blood pressure was elevated, and we pulled over to rest stop so I can kind of walk to try to bring my blood pressure down. So I got to keep it really under control at this point. And that's why I was late that night. But Stephanie, awesome job. Harry, thank you for what you did there as well. And Harry, the fun game we're playing here is the game of influence. And whether it's supporting people and stepping forward in their faith or their leadership, they're managing people in business, recruiting, marketing, selling, fundraising, for-profit, not-for-profit, whatever it is, going from hello to yes, and hello to yes with integrity, without pitching, hooking, closing, pressuring, manipulating, not across the table, but on the same side of the table, heart-centered connection. That's the game we're playing here and bringing to the world, integrity-based human influence. And we call integrity where you're adding more value than you're taking, adding more value than you're taking. And so Stephanie, Harry, will be anybody you want her to be. She could be an ideal client. She could be somebody you want to talk to about stepping into leadership in some way, anybody. And then the dynamic is in 3 minutes going from hello to yes. And for AJ and Harry, it doesn't have to be the ultimate yes. It could be just for a longer meeting. So Harry, who would you like Stephanie to be?
Who would I like Stephanie to be?
Yes. She could be herself or anybody else.
Okay. Gosh, I've never thought about something like that before. Who would I like Stephanie to be?
Yeah. Well, how about this, Harry, through the prism of this? What are the yeses that you're seeking in the world? Maybe it's to get involved with Christian athletes.
Yeah, the yeses that I'm seeking right now as a state director is, the harvest is plentiful, the labors are few. Sean, you talked earlier 2 weeks ago about how at Columbia University, you were getting this like professors and other students just kind of bashing our country and just, ripping our country. Everybody has great opportunity for influence, whether positive or negative influence. And I feel like, hey, every day is a choice. Every day is the decision. Who am I going to be? Right now, my job as a state director for New Jersey Fellowship of Christian Athletes is to staff the state. And right now we have 160 schools in New Jersey that have the FCA on the campus meeting once a week, protected by the 1984 Equal Access Amendment that gives FCA the same right as any other club on campus. So my biggest thing is to staff the state and get people willing to do it. By God's grace, I came on in 1995 as the only one on staff. Now we have 18 people on staff in New Jersey, and we're growing the ministry. So, as far as all the beautiful things you said about Stephanie, and I saw it front row, 2 weeks ago, she is certainly gifted. I think that her personality is amazing. If I could get people like Stephanie to come on staff with FCA New Jersey and engage people, that's the greatest thing, because Dr. Billy Graham said one coach will impact more people in 1 year than most people will in a lifetime. So who's coaching the coach? Who's impacting the coach? That's why we have a huge coaching ministry in New Jersey, trying to, impact coaches, because think about the influence they have all over their campuses.
Yeah. So Harry, so let's do this. How about you're recruiting Stephanie?
That's right. All right,
let's go. So
all right,
Stephanie,
we'll talk later, but just remember that word coach. The two biggest words in the world are coach.
Well, how about that? Like right now, that will be the hello to yes. Stephanie will be Stephanie, and this could be a recruiting conversation for the FCA. Does that sound like a good role play?
It sounds good.
All right, Stephanie, take us in.
Hello, this is Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm excellent, Harry. How are you?
Well, I'm just so thankful that you took the time to be here today. But I tell you, we are right now in the ministry of FCA. We're looking for people to possibly come on staff and serve the ministry. We have a great opportunity. There's so many things out there right now going on that are the kids are involved with, but we want to reach their heart. We believe a changed heart's a changed life. We want to use the vehicle of sports to reach coaches and athletes for Christ. And would you be interested in being a part of that?
It sounds, I love the mission first off. So let me say that the mission definitely speaks to me, but what does that look like? What does that actually entail? What does that mean?
Well, right now, the biggest impact we have on coaches and athletes right now is our camps in the summertime and huddles on the campus during the school year. So from September to June, we have 160 schools in New Jersey that meet once a week, and they're learning through Judeo-Christian values. They're learning that they're not here by accident. God's got a plan and purpose in their lives, and he cares about them. We're not here by accident. And we would love to get you involved in that. If you would like, we have 21 counties in New Jersey. We have people who are in charge of certain counties in New Jersey. So would you be interested in coming on staff with us? You would be challenging coaches and athletes to get involved in the ministry of FCA. A huddle on a campus is a sports-oriented Bible study, which we are allowed to have as long as it's student-initiated, student-led.
That sounds very interesting, Harry. I will definitely have to learn about what's the time commitment, what does that actually mean, what the roles and responsibilities are, but I'd be interested in having the conversation.
Yes, and that's just for everybody, but if you went to fca.org, it shows you what's going on in all 50 states in our country with FCA, and then it shows you what's going on in 106 countries where we have FCA right now. We have staff from different parts of the world coming to our camps in the summertime, even in Pennsylvania, learning how to run camps and then bringing it back to their country. So it's really powerful to see what's going on. We have players playing in the NFL right now that gave their lives to Christ while they're at FCA camp. So it's really powerful to see what's going on. And so thank you so much for your interest, and looking forward to catching up with you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Harry.
Awesome job, Harry. Awesome job. We'll get to the judges in a minute. Steph, great job as well, as always. And where are we going, Steph?
We're going over here to AJ.
AJ? Who would you like Stephanie to be? Who would you like Stephanie to be?
Stephanie. So right now we're looking for contributors, major donors, and potential corporate sponsors. So if you want to be a potential corporate sponsor or a major donor, your choice.
All right, you got bucks burning your pocket, Steph. Take us in.
All right. Hello, AJ. This is Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
I'm excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, Quick question for you, Stephanie. Did you have a mentor? Can you attribute any of your success to a or more mentors in your life leading up to this point?
Yes, definitely. I've had quite a few mentors in my life. Yes.
That's amazing. And I'm glad to hear that. And again, congratulations to you for having those mentors. Not to sound cliche, you always hear it takes more, a village to raise a child. And as parents, either a mother and I say that purposely, a father who's in your life, we know that mom and dad can't be everything, right? And it does take a village. The EPIC Foundation is actually an acronym. EPIC stands for Experienced Professionals Impacting Communities. So professionals just like you, we are organizing your efforts for those of you who want to see a dynamic impact happen in education. I don't know if you remember having a specific teacher that you would attribute that was one of those ideal teachers. You remember that one teacher who you can never forget their names for the rest of your life, that teacher that made an impact?
I do have one of those, yes.
Well, I am so happy to hear that you have one of those teachers. We all had one. I know Miss Cryer was a big influence in my life. There are a lot of other teachers that I don't remember their names at all, right? And that is the unfortunate case that has become even more prevalent in our education system today. I heard a wise man once say, don't let your schooling get in the way of your education. And everything that has happened and transpired over this last year and a half due to the pandemic and distance learning has just made it more evident that there's a lot of gaps, even to some all consideration black holes in our education system. So the EPIC Foundation is here to impact those students who come from low-income homes that unfortunately cannot afford the supplement that is necessary in order to be successful. The way we do that is through scholarships. Number one, the most important part of it is because we invest in these kids' lives. We step up in their lives where a lot of trauma and deficit has happened. So we are always looking for people to contribute to our scholarship fund. And it can go from a small increment of $25 a month that you can go to our website, epicsouthflorida.org, and out of sight, out of mind, put your credit card in, you see a foundation you want to support, you can have that happen on a reoccurring basis, or If you're really looking to make a dynamic impact, that investment also transitions to the opportunity, our second focus area, mentoring. Mentoring is key, be it if it's academic, career insight, or otherwise. So we actually have independent mentorship programs now that you can also help us fund or even help facilitate a relationship that can potentially fund our organization. And then last but not least, the piece de resistance is career pathways. The third focus area of the Epic Foundation is career pathways, because overarching, we're trying to help a child go from cradle all the way to career, no matter what their socioeconomical situation is. We want to make sure that we see educational equity actually happen. So if you're interested, I would love to sit down with you and plan a follow-up, be it if you want to go to our website, check us out, follow us online, or if you see an opportunity to invest on a larger scale, there are different sponsorship levels that we'd love to talk to you about. How does that sound?
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
That definitely sounds interesting. So we could definitely have a longer conversation.
Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Excellent. AJ, excellent work. Again, Harry, excellent work. Steph, what do you say we go to the judges?
I think that's a great idea.
Where to?
Let's start with Miss Janice. Your feedback for Harry.
Yeah, and Janice, it's 30 seconds, 15 seconds what worked, 15 seconds on what could be optimized. Score on a scale 1 to 10. A 1 is like you're being chased by an NFL middle linebacker and you're running out of the house. A 5 is like, you might like kind of hang out for a little bit. A 10 is you're never letting this person out of your sight ever. You're saying yes and doing business or contribution. So Janice, what do you have for Harry?
Yes, as listening to Harry, he didn't do a call to action. I would have just, came in about 2 seconds later and say, I would love to be a part of this organization, but he didn't ask. He did not set a time and a date when we're going to follow up, because there are so many people that are so interested in people, in their health, whether it's their spiritual health or their physical health, that they will be so willing to just jump in and join the organization. But I think it was a great pitch because it, on the other hand,
finish your score for Harry is?
I would give him an 8.
Nice. Well, thank you, Janice. Steph.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's go to Mike. Mike, your feedback for AJ.
AJ, you did something wonderful right out of the gates. You asked a question. That's huge. You didn't start out talking about you, and that made me smile, like really smile. But you didn't ask enough questions. You didn't find Stephanie's pain point. You didn't find what motivates her or whether she had a family tie. What does she have something congruent with your mission that moves her heart and moves her soul so much that it moves her wallet? And so the last
and your score for AJ is, Mike?
Okay, my score is, I'm going to give him a solid 7.
Nice. Thank you, Mike. Janice, Mike, great job. Steph.
Hey, I want to say this. I believe that he did a lot better than I did. And I'm going to give myself an excuse that I just wasn't prepared for that. I wish that I was prepared, because I don't think I did I think that Janice gave me a way better score than I deserved. And I think AJ was much better than I was.
Oh, Harry did a great job. And we'll talk and unpack more, but you did a wonderful job, and AJ certainly did as well. And we'll step into the question of preparation around Hello DS. So thank you for that, Harry. Great feedback, Janice and Mike. And Steph.
Let's go with Dawn. Dawn, your feedback for Harry.
I loved how passionate Harry was. I mean, it was so clear to me that he really just, wanted to make a difference in people's lives. I think that you kept kind of asking, like, what does that look like to me? And what is that? And I think he could have maybe spent a little bit more time, trying to figure out how you fit in, or might be able to fit in with their mission. And again, generally asking more questions about, how, your heart met with the mission.
And your score for Harry is?
7.
7. Beautiful.
Nice, Dawn.
And then let's
Wonderful.
go with Dr. Letitia. Your feedback for AJ.
I think AJ did a great job. I was really excited to hear about it. Some of the times he was talking about the program, he kind of repeated himself, but he was very passionate. It was very, very clear. So I was like really clear on exactly what they do, which I wasn't clear when we first met him, when he first talked about it. So I really liked that. And I give him a 9.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Letitia.
Beautiful. Yes, Dr. Letitia. Steph?
That's it.
Well, I guess we should go home.
Yeah, I think that, yes. No, Sean, I think it's the time in the show where we get to put you on the hot seat.
Like, again, 4.5 weeks ago, all these things hanging in the balance, and you're still putting me on the hot seat. Do you have no presence at all to my blood pressure?
I have presence to your blood pressure, Sean, but I believe that you're already healed. So if you're already healed, then blood pressure, everybody's giving me an amen here. So if you're already healed, then your blood pressure doesn't really is not in effect here anymore. So I think it's time to put your butt on the hot seat.
Yes, I believe I'm already healed too. I am thanking God for it. I just want to try to avoid being on the hot seat.
So, well, since everybody here, because everybody nodded their head, Sean, so we are all in agreement that you are healed. So you are definitely going on the hot seat today. So team, what this looks like, and somehow we'll randomly select, but someone here will get to put.
I'm feeling Harry. I was feeling
Harry too, Sean, but this is my part of the show, and so I was going to get to that. So if you just sit and relax, let your blood pressure calm down until I'm done with my part of the speech, then you can come back to the show, okay? Okay. So
Yes.
as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by my co-host, is we get the opportunity to put him on the hot seat. So Harry, looks like you might get to take that opportunity. This means we get to set up a scenario, any type of scenario that Sean will go from hello to yes on, to demonstrate the magic of influence, the 4 steps, 12 indispensable elements, and 4 energies, and how heart-centered and integrity-based influence can be. So Harry, we want this scenario not to be like an easy scenario, like, hey, can I take you to dinner kind of thing, but a scenario that, might be a little challenging. That he's been President Trump that had to convince President Biden to still build the wall. President Biden convincing everyone why they should have, the shots. This just last week, he channeled Muhammad Ali. That was Kalia Ali's words, channeled Muhammad Ali, and going from hello to yes with the Senate. So it can be any type of scenario, Harry. This can be something that would be of service to you, or something, any thought that comes to mind. Is there anything that you can think of that you would like to see Sean go from hello to yes
on? So I'm asking Sean something?
No, Sean, no. I got this. Just relax so your blood pressure doesn't rise, Sean. So you're going to set the scenario for Sean, and Sean is going to be the person that is going from hello to yes. And you can have him go from hello to yes with you to demonstrate something, or with anybody here. You're just going to set the scenario.
Okay, I would say right now, the biggest thing I'm going to ask Sean is to convince someone to come on. Our biggest need, because in Central New Jersey and South Jersey, we have a ton of ministry and schools and kids involved in FCA. In North Jersey, not as much as Central and South Jersey. So the biggest need we have right now is a strong FCA leadership board member in North Jersey. How can you convince someone to come on board with Jerry Palmieri and Rhett Ellison and North Jersey to come on as an FCA board member to support? Of course, that means monthly giving to the ministry, presence, coming to the huddles and the camps. That would be, I'd love to see you try to talk someone into coming on board as a leadership board member in North Jersey.
It sounds amazing, Sean.
Thank you for that. Amazing.
And so, Harry, would you like to be that person that he's convincing, or would you want to throw one of your new friends here under the bus and have them be the person that Sean is convincing?
All right, I'm gonna ask Sean if he would ask Janice for her interest in coming on.
Absolutely. So
Janice, we thought Harry was a nice guy. Thought he was like this good Christian man, and he's just throwing you right under the bus.
All right.
She's ready to go up and back.
Or I believe, first of all, I believe everybody's awesome, but I think there's something about her that, you know, there's something, I see a lot of good in her, you know, so not throwing her under the bus.
No, we're having fun, Harry. So hey, Janice, thank you so much for giving me 3 minutes. I know you're so busy, but I really appreciate the time. And is it still a good time for you?
Yes, Sean, I do have exactly 3 minutes here.
Yeah, thank you. And so Janice, question, what's your mission in the world? I've heard wonderful things about you. I reviewed a lot, but if it's okay, I'd love to hear from your heart what your mission and vision for your life is.
Well, for my life, being a lover of people, Sean, is very important. I know that I have been blessed in my life to be a blessing to others. So I have this great desire to help others to be the best that they can be. And so in my work, that gives me an opportunity to be in front of thousands of people so far. So, yeah.
That's extraordinary. And so if you had it all your way, and my grandmother and I had the unique privilege of knowing it was her last day on earth, or at least she knew before I did. Her blood pressure was skyrocketing, and she was an unbelievable fighter and warrior, and she was 92 years old, and she said, you know, Sean, this is going to be it. And I'm like, nah, there's no way. You're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. She said, no, this is going to be it. And she then shared with me how grateful to God she was. Her and my grandfather never made more than $25,000 in a year, but that she had fulfilled her life's dreams and mission. And we had beautiful words, and the things she shared with me, I could have been more overwhelmed. And I got to say everything to her. And so if you had that privilege, because most people don't get it, of knowing Janice, it was your last day on this earth, what would you want to have accomplished? What would you want people to say about you?
Oh, Sean, it's so interesting you would ask me that question, because just this morning I was thinking, what is it that I want said about me at my funeral, right? Unfortunately, just 1 month ago, I found my elderly uncle deceased in his apartment. And although it was a sad occasion for me, I did the best that I could. So what I want to be said is I helped somebody, right? So that is the joy that I get, because I always have more than enough. And I feel that that is because that overflow is to help someone else to experience life and to know that someone else cares. So if I had that last opportunity, and I tried my best to live each day as if it was my last. So I talk to my brothers and sisters on a daily basis. There was 8 of us. One of my older sister died a few years ago, but we talk almost every day. So they will be able to say that Janice said she loves me.
Wow. Received, and I know we're running low on time, but your heart for people explodes outward. And I love the idea that all you're doing is filling yourself with love and pouring it into other people in such a beautiful mission. So this last, few seconds that we have together, Janice, is it okay if I share what my mission is?
Please.
Yeah. So my mission is to support people in the same way you're talking about, of having the greatest opportunity to live the greatest life possible. I think the only way you do that is by connecting with your higher power. And I'm a leader with Fellowship for Christian Athletes. And I know that there's an extraordinary opportunity with young people through athletics, through coaching their coaches, to bring them to a different place. You know, athletics has this really interesting dichotomy. And that dichotomy is, on the one hand, it's such a hotbed for leadership and sacrifice and team and beautiful higher vibrational things. At the same time, unfortunately, it's a space where there's a lot of negative vibrational activity, opportunities for drugs and alcohol and womanizing and all sorts of different challenges, or, you know, or manizing, you know, from the opposite sex. And we stand in a space where Christianity isn't about rules and blame and judgment. It's about unconditional love and seeking just higher vibrational acceleration for people. So if that resonates with you at all, right? Because if it doesn't, it doesn't. But if that like there's a pull in your heart, what I would propose is we have a longer conversation, because I think there'd be an incredible fit for you. But here's what's in it for you. I'm hearing a desire for impact. You're going to meet extraordinary human beings through this process, and lots of them. Your voice will be heard, your identity will be amplified, and it's a mutual win-win situation for anybody that becomes involved and gives of their heart like you, is going to receive massively and abundantly in the relationships that are created, and honestly, the blessings that are created. So Janice, how does that feel for you?
Sean, amazing. I just feel as that's one of the things that would really help me to fulfill my mission, and that is sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ with others, and to show the humanity, you know, not to judge, but to love no matter what. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to show the love of God. So let's do this. My time is up. I have another call to go to. Let's do this. Let me look on my calendar and schedule a day next week where we can maybe set aside 30 minutes to an hour to, you know, come up with an idea or plan on why and how I might be able to fit into your organization.
Well, thank you. And let's set it for ... out of roll. Janice, what a wonderful job you did. How did you feel about me being Harry and that whole discussion?
You know, the compassion and that level, the voice, it was that tone, you know, it had my heart just pounding. And I felt that you were compassionate about what you were doing that made me want to be a part of it. And again, it was that human side, that humanity, and me being able to connect with that, because seeing people as people and knowing, you know, being on a stage where the world is seeing you, and that judgment and that pressure, I can only imagine what athletes have to go through in order to perform. So to be on the, you know, backside of that, helping them to know that they are human and they can, you know, have issues, but yet they can also succeed without having to compromise to the world's standard and way of doing things.
Well, thank you, Janice. Beautiful. Harry, how do I do as you?
Well, first of all, you were excellent, Sean, and really, like Janice said, your passion, and you articulated. I learned something, because it goes back to, instead of spouting off all the stuff, you know, try to listen to the heart of the person you're talking to, see what they're interested in. And I love what you said at the end, Janice. You said the whole thing about performing. You know, I went through life performing to be accepted. I got released by the Eagles. I got picked up by Tampa Bay. And then Tampa, I gave my life to Christ. The chapel leader of the NFL led me to the Lord. And he told me, instead of performing to be accepted, know that you're accepted. Now just go out there and perform. And there's a difference between performing to be accepted and feeling accepted, that God created you, has a plan in your life. Feel accepted. Now go out there and perform in the strength that he gives you. So
Amen.
I loved both Sean and Janice. You guys, that was perfect.
Yeah, and Harry, thank you. And what you've done is not lost on us. Our listening is sharp and deep here. And the exponential growth of FCA in New Jersey and the impact is because you are taking beautiful, massive action. And thank you for what you do in the world, Harry.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Steph, how did it feel for you?
It was absolutely masterful, Sean. You know, what I love most about what you do is how heard, seen, and understood you make people feel in the Hello to Yes process.
Thank you. AJ, love your energy, brother. Your congruence, your presence, your energy clearly is a person with massive certainty and humility simultaneously. Thank you so much for being here in the Renaissance man that you are. How was your time with us in the Real Raw?
It was fantastic, Sean. I appreciate it very much. I love what Stephanie just shared a second ago about seen, heard, and understood. I think I find myself coming from the for-profit space and tutoring and existing with a mission that's more nonprofit based to help any child. I think a lot of times I'm still stuck on pitch, right? Or pitching someone and making sure all the information, like Harry was sharing, is said versus, I've always been known, even before getting married and dating, as being a good listener, but not utilizing that skill set, right? So this is giving me kind of the opportunity or almost the permission to do less pitching and more listening and asking questions. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, AJ. And we share this all the time. When we leave pitching, hooking, closing behind in the for-profit and not-for-profit space, yeses skyrocket. I had the privilege of having 120 people being part of a process. I was the person giving the testimonial, the share on Tony Robbins' stage this weekend. And more than 120 people, Stephanie, I got those numbers, signed up for Tony Robbins Platinum Partnership, which is a 6-figure program this weekend. You guys do the math on that, right? And in that process and sharing from stage, it was all about connecting. We talk about emotional rapport building, bringing people to their pain, and then effectively and integriously, because we all have pain. All those people were there because they wanted more. People show up at church on Sunday because they want more. People are going to school because they want more. People are going to work because they want more. You guys are here because you want more. We're here because we want more. Whatever the more is, whether it's in service to a higher power or to paying our mortgage or whatever it is, we do want more. And when we connect people to what that is and then share how we can add the value to solve that challenge for them, then we easily move into agreement formation, no closing, no pitching, hooking. And AJ, you are talented, brother. Like, I am not confused. And obviously you've been very successful. And those micro distinctions, as I've learned in the last 2 decades, to what's allowed me to have some incredibly unique acceleration in entrepreneurship, in courtrooms, on stages. And you have massive skill sets. And it was a privilege to be here with you today.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it very much. It means a lot coming from you.
Thank you. Let's go, Mike. How was your time with us in the Real Raw? Thank you for your candid feedback. And judging, by the way, takes a lot. It takes a lot to share what you really feel and think, especially with extraordinary people like Harry and AJ. So thank you for that, Mike. And how was your time?
It's wonderful. These forums are eye-opening every time. Whenever I'm invited to be a participant or someone to share or whatever, even spill my, be in the role of Harry and AJ, it's always so eye-opening. And I want to add this to the discussion, and I hope this resonates. And if not, okay. But AJ and Harry, I don't know who it was that taught me years ago, but I have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Remember the score. And I just felt like there's so many words in your pitches. But I'm not going to critique anymore. But I wanted to say this. This is somewhere that I aspire to get better at. And Sean, it's in alignment with what you teach. And this is why it's exciting for me to share. When we're pitching our vision, when we're talking with people, and I think about a captain of a ship who needs a ship. He doesn't have one. He's a captain. What is he going to do? Is he going to go around town saying, I need carpenters, I need plumbers, I need craftsmen? Or what's more effective? Go around the community and share the love of the open sea, which is going to be more effective in furthering his cause. So, Sean, what you did with Harry was remarkable. You didn't say of a dire, desperate need. You spoke of this wonderful vision, and you started with what resonates, and that's moving. That's really important stuff.
Well, thank you. And Mike, thank you for that share from your heart and all the beautiful things, and for your candor and being here today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dawn, thank you for being here, for your heart, for your share, for your feedback. And how was your time with us here today?
Good, really good. Made me realize how I need to focus a lot more on what other people's needs are versus explaining, all the benefits and how great, what we have to offer is.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Out of
No,
balance.
Wait 1 second. I think there's a deer on my front lawn. I'm going to go tell the deer as fast as I can how much I love it and how much food I want to give it. Do you think it's going to stay? Yeah, and that's exactly it. So you're right. Beautiful. Because when we benefit throw and we haven't open listening, we haven't created trust, what all human beings, and you know this, Dawn, you just shared it, are at is a default no. It's no. Do you need help? No. Like, right? We're in a world where we have primal fear of rejection and failure. Like death is present in our nervous system if we get rejected, if we fail, right? And so when we are afraid of saying, like having a conversation with somebody because we might be put in a position to say no, we just want to resist the conversation from the first place. So gaining trust and safety, just like having a deer, and I've had deer around my property literally nuzzle me when I'm sitting there with no food. 3 different times I've created that situation by like total peace and creating safety and curiosity for the deer. And that's what we're all looking to do with human beings integrously. And I feel that energy from you, Dawn, and you got a huge mission to bring to the world. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go Dr. Letitia and all your beautiful energy. How was your time with us here today?
You're on mute, love.
Okay, couldn't find the button for a second. My time has been really, really great. It's been really eye-opening. And again, I'm one of those people also that would have spent a lot of time explaining and not enough time really just taking the time to connect and listen. And so I really enjoyed this time, but I really learned a lot, and I can really see how I can improve my next ask, whether it's for my business or for my homeless kids.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Dr. Letitia, for being here. Janice, great job again. And how was your time with us?
Absolutely amazing. I've learned so much in these first hour that we were on, but I think the active listening part is very important. The fact that we have to find that point to disturb our person, that they have some type of connection with what we're trying to either, I don't like the word sell them, but service we're trying to provide for them. And that is, that's an art. And I thank you so much for that soft, soothing voice, that caring voice. And I think I'm gonna practice to speak softer and just to be more, calming. It was just amazing.
And what we share is there's 4 energies of integrous influence. There's 4 steps, 12 indispensable elements, and those 4 energies sit in variance. So being in our heart-centered, we call it goddess energy, not mean metaphysical, something like that, but just the way you'd sit and be present. We also talk about aspirational energy, fun energy, decisive energy, like those different energies in variance, in balance, and knowing sequentially where they come in and not creates the science of influence. See the likes of Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, ... So thank you so much for being here today, Janice.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Harry, final from your heart. How was your time?
It was just awesome. I'm so thankful for all of you because, like that whole thing when Mike shared, God gives us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we listen twice as much as we talk. If we listen, we're going to learn. I feel like FCA does this thing called three E's. As we're engaging each other, we're equipping each other, and we're empowering each other. Engage, equip, empower, and that's what we're doing. I love it. I feel like I've just learned a lot today. I'm a note taker, so I'm taking notes.
All right. Well,
so there you go. There you go, AJ. There you go, Mike. So
never ending rise in mastery. I spent 4 days in a room learning and taking notes, and listening to some of the material I've heard 25 times all over again. It's endless, nonstop learning is the only pathway to mastery. And here's the key. When we're great at something already, and everybody here is great at many things in business and influence, we're
Uh-oh. Oh, we lost a Callaghy.
We got a frozen screen first, and then we lost him.
My bet, if I'm going to put money on it, is I bet his computer lost power, because that sometimes happens. But likely he will be popping back on, coming through a phone through Nicole here pretty soon. But while we're waiting, for him to come back, because I think it was Dr. Letitia had said, I want to follow what was done here. And so the team, I believe, if they haven't already, will hear in the next couple of moments, put in the chat. Yep, they just did a gift from Sean and I on what that formula is. What are the 4 energies? What are the 4 steps? What are the 12 indispensable elements to go from hello to yes? Because, Tony Robbins, as Sean was saying, we just spent 4 days mastering in Tony Robbins' room. And Tony Robbins said, there is no one that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callaghy. And there is a formula for that. There is that formula from going from hello to yes. So as long as you follow those 4 steps, 12 indispensable elements and 4 energies, you also will be able to go from hello to yes with more heart and more integrity. So I know on behalf of Sean, myself, and the entire team, this is such a beautiful group of individuals, just so heart-centered, committed to mastery, faith. It's been absolutely beautiful here to have everyone. And we always have a closing line that we like to say here. And what that is, and usually it's Sean and I, but we're going to have a little fun today and have that everybody. So I'm going to say we're all blind, and everyone unmute your mics. Everyone unmute your mics. You ready? So I'm going to say we're all blind, and you're going to say, and we're just learning to see. So I'm going to say we're all blind, and you're going to say, and just learning to see. You got it?
Got it.
Okay. And so we're all blind
and just learning to see.
Woo!